Welcome back, Tenno. Kullervo's new augment, Volatile Recompense, didn't just give him more damage, it pushed the entire frame straight to the top. Right now, Kullervo isn't just one of the highest damage warframes in the game. He's the highest, and on top of that, he's basically immortal. Volatile Recompense changes his second ability from a one-off burst into a full duration ability. The extra blast damage and status, honestly, it doesn't matter. The important part is this: those 10 daggers fly out and return, stacking Overguard the entire time. With even a bit of duration modded in, you'll have constant Overguard for a minute or longer. It acts like shield gating that resets every time. So you just keep going. You don't die. You never lose momentum. This setup runs Hate with its Incarnon Genesis. If you farm Stalker, you know Hate barely ever drops, even now. When you finally get one, it's worth the grind. Hate's stats are already great, but Incarnon Genesis takes it further. While Incarnon is active, every forward or neutral combo throws a heat-based blade. When it lands, whether it's an enemy or a wall, it explodes right after. Add the Burning Hate augment, and every enemy with a heat proc becomes vulnerable, taking 120% more status damage from anything that hits after. This effect multiplies with Galvanized Elementalist and similar mods. You get big heat, slash, and elemental procs, all stacking together. Melee Duplicate fits this kit, letting every yellow crit strike twice for damage and status rolls. If you're thinking about melee influence, skip it. The Incarnon's heat often turns into radiation and ruins the setup. If you want constant status spikes and real red crit burst, this build beats anything else out there. Kullervo's passive is all about making your melee weapon stronger. Every melee you equip gets a massive boost to heavy attack efficiency and heavy attack wind-up speed. The combo counter is right on your screen, always visible, and a lot of his kit is built to keep it going. His abilities feed into this counter too, and each one lines up with his aggressive no shields playstyle. His first ability, Wrathful Advance, lets you teleport to a target and unleash a heavy attack. It makes you invulnerable during the wind-up, then gives your melee weapon a huge critical chance buff for several seconds after. If you hold the button, you can teleport to any location instead of a target, and you'll still get the critical chance bonus. You can use this to chain kills, chase down priority targets, or just close gaps fast. This ability works perfectly with heavy attack builds and anything that stacks crits. Every heavy attack after using Wrathful Advance is almost guaranteed to red crit. Recompense is his second ability and the reason this build is so busted. With Volatile Recompense, you cast it and 10 daggers start spinning around you, hitting anything close by, and healing you or giving you Overguard. Every dagger hit stacks more Overguard, and with some duration, you can keep it rolling for ages. If a dagger misses and comes back, it hurts you a little, but you can't die from it. The Overguard from this ability acts as an extra buffer, giving you a real safety net that doesn't rely on shield gating. This is how you stay immortal in high-pressure missions. Daggers also keep building your combo counter, feeding right back into your melee loop. Collective Curse is the third ability. It chains enemies in a wide cone, linking their health bars. Damage you deal to one cursed enemy gets shared with all the others, so you can wipe out big packs with just a few hits. The links ignore armor, and any weapon or ability damage spreads instantly. It's a huge damage spike and helps build your combo fast if you're surrounded. Collective Curse lets you snowball kills and keep your Overguard topped up as long as you're aggressive. For the 4th slot, I replaced Storm of Ukko with Warcry from Valkyr. Warcry gives you and your allies a big attack speed buff and extra armor for a set duration. With the Eternal War augment, every melee kill you make adds more time to the buff. You can keep Warcry up almost all the time, and the extra speed pushes your heavy attacks and combos even further. The armor bonus gives a bit of extra padding, but the real benefit is how fast you move through your attacks. This fits Kullervo's style. You get in, stay active, and never let up. Every melee swing is quicker, and your entire kit just keeps rolling. Kullervo's whole design is about momentum. All his abilities keep you moving, stacking buffs, and chewing through crowds. With no shields and a constant stream of Overguard, you play on the edge without worrying about getting dropped by a stray shot. The passive and ability synergy are tight, and this setup takes full advantage of everything the frame can do. Here's my full Kullervo build. Every mod, arcane, and setup choice here is grounded in what actually works for his kit and playstyle. Nothing is for show. Everything feeds into damage, survival, or uptime. For my arcanes, I use Arcane Energize and Arcane Bellicose. Arcane Energize gives me a 60% chance to restore 150 energy to me and any allies nearby every time I pick up an energy orb. It has a 15-second cooldown, but it's essential for keeping energy up in longer runs. Arcane Bellicose is the other arcane, and it gives me 6% ability strength for every 250 points of max health, capping at 72%. This is always active and helps push my damage and buffs higher at all times. The aura is Corrosive Projection. This shaves off 18% armor from every enemy in the mission. With the right squad setup, you can get that reduction even higher. For my Ixailus, I use Power Drift for more ability strength and a 30% chance to resist knockdowns. That keeps you on your feet when things get chaotic. For the main mods, I use Primed Continuity for duration, Primed Flow for energy max, Blind Rage for a big strength boost at the cost of efficiency, Equilibrium to convert health and energy pickups, and Transient Fortitude for another chunk of strength with a small hit to duration. For my augments, I use Eternal War and Volatile Recompense. Eternal War extends the duration of Warcry by 2 seconds for every melee kill I make, up to double the buff's length. This keeps Warcry running almost non-stop, which means faster attacks and smoother combo building. Volatile Recompense turns Kullervo's second ability into a duration-based source of Overguard and AoE damage, with the dagger spinning for 25 seconds and generating Overguard every time they hit an enemy. Umbral Intensify rounds out the build, adding 44% ability strength and a bit of Tau resistance. Every piece here stacks for more power, more survivability, and a damage loop that never really stops. For my Archon Shard setup, I went with 5 Topforged Violet Archon Shards. Each shard gives plus 37.5% melee critical damage. The real value comes when your max energy is over 500, which doubles the bonus from each shard. With my Kullervo build, I have a total energy of 641, so every shard is always giving the doubled bonus. That's 75% melee critical damage per shard 5 times over. This stacks up to a total of 375% bonus melee crit damage all the time. Every heavy attack, every crit, just hits harder. If you want to maximize your melee output and lean into red crits, this is the setup that delivers. Before we proceed with the weapon I am using for this build, here is just a quick disclaimer. This is a melee-focused build, so I'm not going to show or explain anything about the primary or secondary weapons here. You're free to use whatever you want for those slots. The entire playstyle and power come from Kullervo's Wrathful Advance and Warcry. Both abilities are made for close combat, ramping your melee crits and speed until you don't need anything else. If you want a gun build, this isn't it. This setup is all about getting in and ripping through enemies with melee alone. Now, here's the full breakdown of my hate build for this setup. Built for heavy crits, fast combo gain, and massive status output. This is the Incarnon Genesis version, using only the upgrades and mods I actually use. For Incarnon Evolutions, I selected Swordsman's Flourish for Evolution 2, which adds 30 flat damage and doubles your combo count chance when the melee weapon is equipped. Evolution 3 is Orokin Reach, which gives plus 0.8 range. For Evolution 4, I picked Subtle Force, which adds 6% critical chance and 10% status chance. For the Arcane, I use Melee Duplicate. Every time you land a base critical hit, your attack hits a second time. The duplicate hit rerolls crit and status, so you can stack status effects or double dip on damage with every yellow crit. The stance is Reaping Spiral. This gives you wide, multi-hit combos with high mobility and good reach on every swing. The forward and neutral combos are especially strong with Incarnon active, since each hit sends out a heat-based blade that explodes for extra damage. In the Exilus slot, I run Dreamer's Wrath. This enables Tennokai, boosts the chance to trigger Tennokai, and gives plus 32% heavy attack crit damage. The main mods are built for crits, elementals, and status scaling. Galvanized Steel gives you plus 110% crit chance, doubled on heavy attacks, and stacks crit damage on melee kills. Amalgam Organ Shatter adds 85% crit damage and cuts heavy attack wind-up time. Volcanic Edge gives you 60% heat and 60% status chance. Galvanized Elementalist gives 80% status damage and stacks more status chance on kill. Blood Rush scales your crit chance with combo. Primed Fever Strike gives 165% toxin damage. Burning Hate makes any enemy hit by hate, while under a heat proc, take 120% more status damage from everything applied after. This synergizes perfectly with Incarnon's Heat Blades and all your status mods. For my last lot, I use a Hate-driven mod with 80.8% electricity, 43.6% attack speed, and 75.4% critical damage. This rounds out your elemental coverage and pushes your speed and crits even higher. This build is pure damage. Every swing ramps crit, combo, and status. With the Arcane and the Augment together, your hits will always stack up. If you want to push hate to its absolute limit, this is how you do it. Here's my ability rotation with this Kullervo setup and why each cast matters. I start by casting Warcry when I'm moving in on a group of enemies. Warcry gives me a big attack speed boost and extra armor right out of the gate. With the Eternal War Augment, every melee kill adds more duration, so I can keep the buff rolling as long as I'm fighting. That speed bonus makes every swing faster and helps keep my combo meter building. Next, I cast Recompense. Volatile Recompense surrounds me with daggers that heal and build Overguard every time they hit. This makes me tanka right from the start and sets up a safety net that keeps me alive even if things get chaotic. Overguard from Recompense lets me dive into enemy packs without worrying about getting instantly dropped. If I see a big group, I follow up with Collective Curse. This chains enemies together, so any damage I do to one gets shared with all of them. It's perfect for clearing mobs fast and makes every hit count for more. Also stacks my combo counter even faster, pushing my crit and damage higher. Finally, I cast Wrathful Advance. This ability lets me teleport straight to a target, land a heavy melee attack, and gives a huge critical chance bonus for all my melee swings. I always try to hit cursed enemies with this to spread heavy attack damage to the whole group. After the teleport and attack, I keep recasting Wrathful Advance as soon as the cooldown is low to keep my crit buff active and keep moving through enemies. This rotation is tight and aggressive. Every cast has a purpose. Warcry for speed, Recompense for survival, Collective Curse for spreading damage, and Wrathful Advance for nuking targets and keeping crits up. Everything feeds into the melee loop and nothing is wasted. That's the full Kullervo build. Volatile Recompense keeps you alive. Hate Incarnon brings the big damage. And this melee-focused setup never lets the pressure drop. Every part of the build is about keeping momentum, hitting red crits, and never slowing down. If you found this build breakdown useful, hit like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing you builds that actually work. Drop a comment below if you have your own take on Kullervo or if you run a different setup. I want to hear how you play him too. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the build. I appreciate every single view and every bit of support. Until next time, take care and keep pushing your builds. See you later, Tenno.
Thank you.